Netflix's Mute, from Moon and Warcraft director Duncan Jones, fails to reach the heights of other successful entries in the cyberpunk genre, like Ridley Scott's Blade Runner and even newcomer Altered Carbon. It's like someone went to a science fiction-themed Home Depot, picked out all the right parts, but forgot the most important piece back in aisle 7, the story. Alexander Skarsgård plays Leo, an Amish gentleman unable to speak due to a childhood accident. There's a way to fix his voice, but his beliefs won't allow him to get the surgery. He's now a bartender at a Berlin nightclub where the customers, along with most of the staff, wear costumes that look like they were purchased from a Fifth Element yard sale. He has a blue-haired girlfriend named Nadira, who also works at the club, and when she suddenly goes missing, Leo sets off on a forgettable journey in search of his lost love. As the film progresses, Leo's story becomes more absurd, especially when he starts fighting opponents that should be able to best him in combat. The troubling thing is, there's never a scene detailing how Leo became such an effective fighter. While he doesn't do any fancy flips or kicks, he does take on ex-military and other armed individuals with relative ease. Perhaps the writers were going for a love conquers all approach. When done successfully, sci-fi can be a compelling medium due to its capacity to examine the human condition in a futuristic setting where anything is possible. The main problem with Mute is that it doesn't use its technologically advanced backdrop to say anything new or especially interesting. There are hints of a war in Kandahar and a large number of American soldiers going AWOL, but other than those brief glimpses, Duncan Jones has created a world that feels empty. If we haven't scared you away from Mute yet, there are two people that make the film tolerable: Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux. Since Skarsgård is bereft of his lovely deep Swedish voice, Rudd and Theroux do most of the talking as the film's main antagonists. Mute is never explicit about whether their characters are ex-lovers or just old fraternity buddies, frequently referring to each other as babe or hun, but their fun chemistry helps keep the movie dynamic and engaging.
Leave those baby blues to me, or recycle them.
Sadly, they are not the characters we're supposed to be rooting for. Mute begins with an Amish proverb that says, in order to mold his people, God often has to melt them. It's logical to assume that Leo's journey then is supposed to mold him into something new by the end of the film, but it's difficult to know if that happens since we learn very little about him along the way. Leo is mostly a reactionary character who expresses very little of what's going on inside his mind or his heart. All the viewer has to go on are a few words he scribbles on paper and Skarsgård's limited facial expressions. If Leo did go through a spiritual transformation, it wasn't evident by the time the credits rolled. Mute tries to tell a transformative sci-fi story but struggles to find its footing with a less than stellar hero. Leo's lack of character development makes it difficult to root for him on his quest to find his girlfriend. Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux's colorful performances are Mute's best offerings, but aren't enough to save it from mediocrity. Thanks for watching. For more movie reviews, check out what we thought of Annihilation and Game Night. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.